how's it going? My name is Petra. For those of you who don't know me, I am absolutely addicted to crochet and have started a small business, Peachy Crochet, where I sell at markets and online. So this video today is going to be a little crochet tutorial on how to make this adorable crochet strawberry. Please feel free to pause or rewind the video if you're having any trouble. And then these are the stitches that we will be using today. If you are unfamiliar with these, I do have a learn to crochet video which I will link up here or down there. So to start, we're just going to start with our magic ring. So remember that's over, hold with your thumb, round, cross over the other yarn, and bring round. So under, pop through. To make a little slip knot stitch there. Yep. I'm going to take our fingers out. So we've got our working yarn and our yarn end here. Just hold these two together and keep the shape of the ring. You just want to go under, pull through, and pull through 2 loops to make our first stitch. So we've got 1 stitch now. So you want to go under, pull through 2 loops, so we've got 2 stitches, under, pull through again, so we've got 3 stitches, 4 stitches, 5 stitches, 6 stitches, and 7 stitches. There we go. Okay, and then we can pull our magic ring closed like that. There we go. Okay, so now that we've got our little circle here, we want to do a slip stitch into this first stitch here. You can see the little V shapes. So the first V shape, you want to put your hook in through both the loops, and you want to pull through both loops. So you've got 2 on your hook. And remember, for a slip stitch, we just want to take that second loop and pull it straight through the first one. 1 is just an increase in every single stitch. So remember, that's 2 stitches in every stitch. So, see, we can see which one the yarn is going through here, which is this one here. So we're going to move on to the next stitch. So we're going to go in, got 2 loops, and we can do our first stitch. At this point, I like to add a stitch marker to our first stitch so we know where the beginning of our round is if we need to undo stitches. Okay, so we've got 1 stitch, so that means we need 1 more stitch in that one to make it an increase. So go back in, 2 loops, pull through, and that's our first increase. So we'll keep doing that in every single stitch for this round. So we've got So this next one is going to be the last stitch of our round. So we go in through both loops, pull through, and just 1 more. There we go, so that's the last stitch. So at this point, you see how there's a little hole in the middle of the magic ring. All you can do to fix this is grab the tail end and just pull it nice and tight. See, that hole is disappeared. For round 3. So this next one here will be number 1. So we'll just go in through both loops, pull through both loops, and then we can add our stitch marker to this loop because it is the first stitch of our new round. Okay, so we'll just keep going round. And round. Okay, so that was the last stitch of our round. So round 4 is just going to be the exact same we did for this round, so it's just going to be 1 stitch in every single stitch. So we just go back into the 2 loops for the first stitch, pull through 2, get our stitch marker, put it in the first loop of our round. There we go. And this is our last stitch, so we go in, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so now that we've done round 2, we should have the start of our strawberry coming together. So for this next round, we are going to be doing 1 stitch and 1 increase, and we're just going to follow this pattern for this whole round. So it'll be 1 stitch, 1 increase, 1 stitch, 1 increase, 1 stitch, 1 increase. Okay, so we'll do the first stitch, so that is just 1 regular stitch, done. And then our next stitch is going to be an increase. So remember, that's 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So we'll do 1 and 2. And we just follow that pattern. So now that we've done our increase, we can go to our next stitch and just do 1 single crochet. And then we'll do an increase, so that's 1 stitch, 2 stitch, and then a single crochet, 1, and then another increase, so just 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, there we go, just 1 stitch, and an increase, 1, 2, 1 stitch, an increase, 1 stitch, and then an increase. Okay, and that is the end of this round. Okay, so for our next round, we're just going to be doing the same as the previous ones, where we just did 1 single crochet into every single stitch. So go into the first stitch of the round, 1 single crochet, perfect. There we go, stitch marker done, and then there we go. Okay, so now that we've got 1 stitch left, we'll do the last stitch of this round, pull through. Great. Okay, so for the next round, we are going to be doing 1 stitch and then 1 decrease. So as you remember before, the decrease, you go into the front loop of the first stitch, just like that. And then you do the same in the next stitch, so you got 3 loops on your hook, and then you just pull through all 3 loops, and then you've got your decrease. So we'll just start with the first stitch of the round, which is just 1 stitch. Just go 1 stitch, place your stitch marker. Great, okay. So now we will start with our decrease. Remember, it's the front loop, so that's the one closest to you. You go in, pull through, so now we've got 2 loops. In the next one, grab that loop, and we're just going to pull through all the loops. Okay, so we're just going to repeat this pattern of 1 stitch, 1 decrease for this round. So we're going to go into our next stitch, into both loops, and pull through. We've got a decrease, so in through the front loop, 2 loops, 3 loops, pull through all 3 loops, and then again 1 stitch, and then a decrease. There we go. And if you lose count, don't be afraid to just go back to where your stitch marker is and just start again. It takes practice. 1 stitch, 1 decrease, 1 stitch, 1 decrease, 1 stitch, and another decrease, 1 stitch, and another decrease. So this will be the last decrease of our round. There we go. So we've got our decrease. Put a stitch marker into this last stitch here. There's our stitch marker. Great. And now, as you can see, we've got this little berry shape going. And now we can grab our white yarn and start sewing on our strawberry seeds. Okay, so now we've got our darning needle. So this yarn just needs to go through there. If you're finding it difficult and it keeps spreading, just give it a little twist at the end like that and pull it through. And I always like to have a little tail here, and you just want to hold it like this so that this yarn isn't gonna go anywhere. Okay, so now we can grab our strawberry, and just be careful of this end here. I just kind of like to tuck that inside. Okay, so the inside of the strawberry, and then just pull it through. And just leave a little bit of a tail here at the end, which we would use to tie at the end. So just like a little tail. And so now we can start making our strawberry seeds. But I just like to do kind of like a 1 row, so you can kind of see the rows 1 where the lines are. I just like to do them the size of 1 row. So then we go in, back into the strawberry, and we pull the yarn. And just when you get to the end of it, make sure that you don't pull too tight, otherwise you're just going to pull this yarn out here. Okay, so now we've got our first little seed. We can grab and do another one. So we've got our yarn, and we just want to put it through our strawberry where we want the top of our next seed to be. So I just want my next one to be there, so I'm going to pull through. Great, now we've got that. And then again, just 1 row, and we pull that one through. Great, okay, so now we've got 2 seeds, and now we can do our next one. I kind of like to do a staggered, so I'll do 1 at the top, 1 in the middle, and then 1 at the bottom, and then I'll just go back to the top and repeat that. So for my next strawberry, I'm going to do it about there. Yep. So I'll go in, pull it through, and then we go in here. Oh, there we go. And we pull our next seed through. Cute. So now we've got 3 little seeds. Alright, so now we've got all the strawberry seeds that we want. Okay. And then for the next part, I just like to turn my strawberry inside out. Yep, so we've got all these loops here. Don't worry about those. They're in there. So to tie it off, you just want to find one of the loops in the back, put your needle through, and just pull it till you've got a smaller loop here at the end. Pull it through, and then since you got that loop, you can just put your needle right through and tie a little knot. If you're anxious about it getting undone, you can just go right back in and create another little knot. Just keep the loop here, pull it through the knot, and done. Okay, and I like to do the same for this bit where we started. Okay, so just put our needle on. Okay. And then I'm just going to create another little knot here so that it doesn't come undone. Oh. Okay, so now we can put it back the right way. Okay, so now we can start stuffing our strawberry. You can use these little white ends that were left over from sewing on the seeds. And then we've got our actual stuffing here. And you just want to take a small bit and stuff it into the strawberry. Okay, so now we can start our last round, which will just be 7 decreases. Yep, so this whole round is just going to be decreases. Decrease. Okay, and this is going to be our last decrease here. So decrease, done. Okay, so our next one is just going to be a slip stitch to finish it off. So just go into this big hole here, pull through, and just pull straight through, and then pull it. So we're going to be sewing in the end, so I like to leave quite a long tail for this. There we go. Okay, so now that we've got that, we can pull through, and that's nice and secure. We can take our stitch marker off now. Now we can stuff the berry more because it's a bit too squishy. See, you don't want. So I'm just going to the first one. Just like to go under, into the middle, pull through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and just pull it nice and tight to close up that hole. And it doesn't matter that there's a few gaps there because we are going to be covering it with the strawberry leaves. So what I like to do is, if there are any big holes, I'll just go back and just kind of cover them all up. Okay, so now we are going to finish this off. So I like to do put it into a stitch, get a little loop, pull it through, and close it up. So now that we've got that done and it's all tightened, I just like to go back into the strawberry, anywhere spine, and just pull through our tail. And then we can just trim off our excess. Now that's done. Okay, and now for this little tail, I just like to use my needle and just kind of push it back into the strawberry, and it kind of acts as extra stuffing, and just so we can't see it sticking out. A magic ring with 7 stitches in it. So hold that there, go under and around, cross over, turn around, under, pull through, and just a little stitch, slip stitch there, slip stitch. Great, and just hold this and go 1 stitch. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Done. Okay. So now that we've done that, we can pull this nice and tight. Cool, so we've got our little magic ring, and just make sure you're not using the tail and use the working yarn. So you want to grab your working yarn and you want to go through these 2 stitches and just do your slip stitch to close the magic ring. So 2, and just pull that second right through the first. Okay. So I always like to tighten this at the end just because it can be a bit difficult to work with. So now that we've got our slip stitch, we can start with our leaves. So first thing we're going to do is chain 4. So remember, that's just under, pull through. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we've got our 4. So now we're going to go into the second chain from the hook. So this one here, that's your first, second, third, and fourth. So we're just going to go into the back loop of this one, so just in, and we're just going to do 1 stitch. So 1, 2, and so now we are just going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. So just go in, pull through, and just pull that one through. Okay, so that is our first leaf, and we're just going to repeat this pattern around the magic ring until we get back to this one. So let's count our leaves. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 leaves, that's how many we want. So now we'll do a slip stitch into the next stitch to finish it off. Done. And then I just like to do one more slip stitch into this one. Slip stitch and then pull your loop wide. And now I like to leave a long tail for this one because we're going to be sewing it on. So a long tail. Remember, so it's this one. And we just pull through, keep it tight. And now this hole here, we can tighten it. So we just grab the end. There we go. And it's tight for this one. We don't really need it. So I'm just going to put it on. It's going to tie a little knot. So just go into a stitch, any stitch. Pull it into a knot. Cool. And then you can just give it. Okay, so now that we've got our leaves and our strawberry, we can start sewing them together, like this. Okay, so we'll start by threading our green yarn from our strawberry leaves onto our darning needle. And then it's just going to go on top of the strawberry so we can hide that little end under there. So we're just going to start by going in through our strawberry up into our leaves. And so we're going to alternate from going into the strawberry up through the leaves and then in through the leaves and through the strawberry. And we're just going to be careful that we're not going to trap the leaves with our yarn when we're sewing in our ends, and making sure that we're sewing the leaves on straight so when we finish we have a strawberry that is nice and symmetrical. Through, and I think we are almost at the point where we started. Back into the strawberry. There we go. Okay. So this will be our last one. Sometimes it can be a bit tight, but just keep pushing. Okay. So we've got our little strawberry here. And then we can just go back in and tie our knot. So we're done. Cool. And then we can just put that through the berry again. There we go. And just spread the leaves out. That one a bit too wide, but that's okay. Little berry. Trim this excess off. Keep this. And just put it through. Just be careful that you don't break the needle because they're not broken. Many a needle doing this. Okay. And then There we go, you've got your little berry. I kind of put that on crooked, so that's okay. Okay, so we've got a little berry. Got a little attachment. What I like to do is I just like to get my hook. I like to open this, and I like to put my hook inside it, so it's open when we're trying to put it inside the strawberry. So just make sure this is facing the middle, and you see this magic ring here? I just like to put it into the magic ring in the middle there, and kind of push it through and out, and then you can just twist it round until it gets to the end. There we go. And now you've got it on a little keychain.